I sense an epic change happening here in Orlando.
Oh, you say?
Yes, do you sense it happening?
I do.
I've had
An expansion of the universe,
Ooh.
if you will.
I've had a little bit of an epic feeling
Oh?
slowly growing.
That's... You should probably get that checked out. That doesn't seem healthy.
An epic feeling can be a good thing, though.
Yeah, but it's been growing.
Yeah.
Okay.
It might just take me out if it all happens at once.
Wow. Well, coming in 2025, it's all going to happen at once at Universal Epic Universe. Like that one there? That wasn't bad.
I like that
That
one.
wasn't bad. Let me know in the comments if you like that one. Yes, Universal Epic Universe. 5 immersive worlds, 1 amazing theme park will be opening in 2025. When this announcement was made official, they said it was going to be open summer 2025. That word summer has since been taken out of the verbiage.
Ooh.
That could mean one of two things. It could be spring, it could be early 2025, or it could be later. We don't know.
We don't know. It could be like the apartment down the street that
Yeah, there's an apartment complex down the street from us that says opening spring 2023, and it looks about half done.
maybe. So we're hoping that, Universal is more on the opposite end of that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the money and the time and everything that's being put into this epic construction job is pretty incredible, the progress they've made in just the last 6 months.
I mean, we've been seeing and kind of had news trickling in about Epic Universe literally before they broke ground.
Yeah, it was first announced, I believe, in 2018 or 19. And then COVID happened, slowed everything down, like as it did. And it was originally supposed to open, I think, in 2023.
Wow.
But now it's since been pushed back to 2025. But we shall see when that happens.
Now, the funny thing about Epic Universe is when I talk to people about this, they're on one of two ends of the spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
They either are excited about what's coming or have no idea what I'm talking about.
Right.
There's no, it feels like people are either in the loop or out of the loop. So regardless of where you are in that spectrum, you know that it's happening. Maybe you're really well informed. Maybe you have no idea that a new park is even coming to Orlando.
Correct.
Today, we're going to talk about everything we know so far.
And a few things that have been rumored for Epic Universe.
Which normally we're not big rumor people, but because...
They are very solid sourced,
rumors.
well-discussed rumors.
Exactly. And so that's why we're talking about this.
Right.
And then we may even discuss a little bit about what we might like to see in the future because the possibilities are epically endless.
Yes. So a huge shout out to our friend Alicia Stella over at Theme Park Stop. She is literally the one stop for all Epic Universe coverage. She has been deep diving on her channel into this stuff for years now.
Yes.
And seeing all this stuff be announced and her being correct 99.9% of the time is pretty cool. So yeah, go check out and subscribe over there. Theme Park Stop. She is at the absolute best news source for anything Universal or Epic Universe. But most of the stuff that we're going to discuss that's been rumored is coming straight from her. So it's not, people throwing stuff at a wall and hope it sticks. This is a genuinely very reliable source.
Yes.
So,
yeah, please go check out everything she's done. She's talented. Like everything she does is just absolutely top tier. And, we can't say enough good things about her. So, we're going to go through everything so that you can get like a full dose of what we're expecting, but definitely go check out Alicia Stella. You will not be sorry that you did.
absolutely. And with that said, welcome to Disney Magic and Beyond, presented by us, a couple of park hoppers. If you're watching on YouTube right now, go ahead and look down. You'll see a little subscribe button right there. Hit that. because it does help our channel grow. And be sure to click that bell icon right there to be notified anytime that Danie and I post a video. Literally anytime. It'll go ding in your email, and then you will see that we posted a video, and then you go watch it, and then you tell your friends, and you thumbs up the video, because all of that is free, and it helps our channel grow.
So much. So make sure you do that right now. And then if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or any other podcast platform, be sure and follow us right now so you never miss an episode.
Did you do it yet? She said right now. We'll wait.
If you have a friend with you, have them open their podcast platform and have them subscribe so that they can have a little park hopper joy in their life too.
Yeah, for sure. Subscribing and following on everything. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. It takes 1.3 seconds. It is the easiest way to help us out, grow our numbers, and get us out there. So yeah, Universal Epic Universe. What a weird name. First of all, I don't understand why they dropped the possession, where it was originally called Universal's Epic Universe.
Yeah.
Now it just sounds like you're taking two of the same words, sandwiching epic in there. It's like sandwich, epic sandwich. You got Universal Epic Universe. I don't know. It's weird. But that's the official title of the park. It's called Universal Epic Universe.
I mean, here's the thing. When I think about it too hard, I don't know which one sounds better in my head.
Right.
Universal's Epic Universe, Universal Epic Universe. Like the more I say it, it doesn't.
Or we just call it Epic Universe.
It doesn't even sound like words anymore. The more I repeat it in my head.
Right. It sounds weird when you say it over and over again.
And didn't we say that Universal also changed Islands of Adventure?
Yeah, they took the possession away from everything. So it used to be Universal's Islands of Adventure, and now it's just Universal Islands of Adventure.
And even with that, when I say it, I'm like, I don't know what I would
say. It
feels
wrong.
If I was just, but if I was just talking, I don't know what I would say. I probably wouldn't be so polite in saying it. Just sounds polite to use their full name.
Yeah.
Universal's Islands of Adventure. Would you like to go to Universal's Islands of Adventure with me?
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing as saying, do you want to go ride Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure? No, you're going to go Hagrid's. Or the most hilarious thing, and I love long titles like that, is that we actually just opened up a new space at Disney Springs with DVC.
Uh-huh.
And the official title of the place, and I hope I don't get this wrong, is Disney Vacation Club, Gateway to Discovery, Welcome Home Center.
Wow. That sounds like
so many words.
Oh my gosh, what is it? In The Office, it's like Michael Scott's Run for Rabies, Meredith Palmer.
Right.
Oh my gosh, I have to pull that up because
I know what you're talking about.
It's a Michael
the Fun Run or whatever.
Yeah, hang on, I have to say it because that's what I'm going to think of all the rest of the thing. Yeah. Michael Scott's Rabies run name. Okay, so it was his charity 5K fun run after he hit Meredith with his car, and then decided that he needed to do a fun run to raise awareness for rabies. Michael Scott's Dunder Mifflin Scranton Meredith Palmer Memorial Celebrity Rabies Awareness Pro-Am Fun Run Race for the Cure.
Oh, that's amazing.
And that is exactly what it sounds like sometimes with some of the longer names.
Oh my gosh.
So yes, but I mean Universal Epic Universe, it'll eventually roll off the tongue and we won't
just
think
call
about
Epic Universe or Epic. You want to go to Epic today? No,
probably Epic Universe.
That's what we're gonna do. But yeah, Epic Universe, it's going to be amazing. Like we said, 5 immersive worlds and 1 amazing theme park opening in 2025. And the 5 worlds have officially been announced by Universal about a month and a half ago on an amazing sizzle reel that they put out, in addition to changing their website. But the 5 universes, I guess, or worlds in the Epic Universe will be Celestial Park, How to Train Your Dragon Isle of Berk, Dark Universe, The Wizarding World of Harry Potter Ministry of Magic, and Super Nintendo World. Those are the 5 worlds that will be in Epic Universe.
So as we are going through each of these pieces of the park, each of the worlds, we are going to have a sound that is going to play.
Ooh.
And what is that sound that they're going to hear? An epic sound, have you? So when you hear that sound, that means we're moving on to the next world.
Yeah.
So epic sound for the next stage in the epic world that we're going through today.
Exactly. And when you look at the Universal property currently as it sits right now, like the Universal Studios Florida and Universal Islands of Adventure, there ain't no place to put anything else there around there. And you're like, where is this epic theme park going? You're probably wondering exactly where it's going. And I'm going to tell you, it's going to be about 2 miles south of the current campus where those two theme parks, Volcano Bay and their other existing resorts, are.
Okay.
It's going to be 2 miles south down near the Orange County Convention Center, which is actually closer to us. And it is actually a larger space than all of the current Universal campus, which is crazy to think about.
So is it considered on Universal property?
It is. They own it.
They own it. So,
but it's not right next door to the current campus. It's 2 miles away.
Okay.
But there will be a bus shuttle service.
Okay, that makes sense.
To and from. They're building their own roads. So it's not going to be like riding on I-4. They're building their own roads to go in between. So it's like a very quick shuttle service.
So it'll still be connected?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
That makes sense. I guess I didn't realize it was that far away. For some reason, I was thinking it was kind of next door. But, I mean, I guess technically it's next door if you consider 2 miles away.
Yeah, kind of.
I mean, if it was a house, 2 miles away isn't next door.
No, but it's close enough.
But for a giant theme park, that's next door.
Right. You can't, it's going to be like Disney. You can't walk from Animal Kingdom to Magic Kingdom.
So also, speaking of giant theme park, it's going to be 750 acres all together.
Yeah, huge.
Universal Studios and Islands of Adventure together cover 735 acres.
Which is nuts. The plot that they ended up purchasing from the city of Orlando, like Danny said, 750 acres. It's bigger than the entire campus up at the north part of the campus where Universal currently sits.
Now,
Epic.
Now, before we go into the details, I wanted to just briefly talk about, we don't know how they're going to be selling tickets or anything just yet.
No, there's
correct?
no information on that yet. Everything that we're going to go over
so.
today is going to be stuff that's been announced or heavily rumored about the actual park itself. We do not have any ticket information, annual pass information, anything like that. None of that has been officially announced by Universal, so we will not discuss it until that is done.
The only thing that we are hoping to see is as annual pass holders that we will get a chance to preview it.
That's from what I've gathered from folks, that annual pass holders will have plenty of chances to preview the park. And then it will most likely not open with an annual pass option, just because the demand is going to be so high that they don't want it to be at capacity every day. You're going to want to start small and then incrementally grow there as you figure out the timing of things and the staffing needs and all that kind of stuff. Then that's what the annual pass holder previews will be for as well, is to figure out how many people we need to have working between this time and this time to cover all this and this and this and this and this, and how many riders can we get on these rides capacity wise, and just try to maximize everything before you actually open it sometime in 2025.
Now, also, here's the thing. Could there not be annual pass holder previews?
It's a possibility. Yeah.
I'm saying absolutely. So we're just like, that's what has kind of been discussed as a rumor. But again, nothing official has happened. But just like with any kind of new attraction, generally they want to work the kinks out in terms of like a soft open usually is what happens. But again, we haven't had a brand new park open in a very long time. So we don't know what we're going to see. But as soon as we know, we will be telling you guys.
I mean, just think about it. I mean, when Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind opened at Epcot, we were doing previews in early April, and that didn't open until Memorial Day weekend. That was late May when that opened. So you did almost 2 months of previews.
Right.
And that's just one ride. Never mind an entire theme park. So I would have got to imagine there's probably going to be at least a month, 2, 3 of previews, getting people in their team member previews, annual pass previews, just all kinds of stuff. It's going to be nuts.
Well, I think it's time to dive into these epic worlds that we are ready to talk about for the first time here on A Couple Park Hoppers.
All right, and the first one is Celestial Park.
Celestial Park is the cosmic heart of Universal Epic Universe, where wondrous discoveries await among the lush greenery, tree-lined walkways, and dancing fountains. Begin your cosmic journey of discovery in a world between worlds full of sensory delights for all to enjoy together. Now, Celestial Park is said that there are going to be 2 attractions, and these 2 main attractions, first one's going to be Constellation Carousel. Now, Constellation Carousel, climb aboard this imaginative carousel where the cosmic energy of the universe enables guests to ride the constellations themselves. Guest carriages including celestial lions, dragons, peacocks, and more. Each carriage turns 360 degrees while lifting riders up to 6 feet in the air. Celestial music and color dazzle your senses as you whirl and twirl together across the Milky Way. A fast fact: the ceiling of Constellation Carousel is a star tracker featuring rotating celestial star patterns with a center mesmerizer creating a ribbon cone effect above while you are riding.
This sounds like a really cool carousel that you've never seen before, because generally in a carousel you sit on something and it stays in the same position, it goes round and round and round and round, and that's pretty much it. But this one, they're going to be like crisscrossing, and each of the carriages are going to turn 360 degrees, going up and down to up to 6 feet in the air. It's going to be a really neat attraction that's right at the center of Celestial Park. An absolutely gorgeous structure. If you guys are watching on YouTube, youtube.com/a couple of park hoppers, you can see the concept art on the screen right there. I mean, how beautiful does that look? It looks so cool.
It looks visually stunning. And I want to say that some of those colors that they're using are some of my favorite colors. I believe that there's that like mix of colors. They call it something. It's like but basically it's like the universe.
Yeah. It's like Cosmos blue or something.
Yeah, and purple.
Yeah.
There's all sorts of gorgeous colors. And I think it's just going to be one of those rides that is fun for everybody to go on.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be right in the middle of Celestial Park. Celestial Park really is the only thing that Universal has given a ton of detail about right now. So you're going to find that we're spending a little bit more time on Celestial Park than some of the other locations. But we haven't really done any Epic Universe coverage yet. So we figured we would dive into what we know, what we're hearing that's heavily rumored, and kind of give our thoughts on it and how excited we are to see a new theme park in 2024. I mean, It's literally the first time this millennium we're getting a new theme park in Orlando, which is insane to think about.
Yeah.
Because Magic Kingdom was 71, Epcot was 82, Hollywood Studios was 89, Universal Studios was 1990, Animal Kingdom was 98, and Universal Islands of Adventure was 99.
So crazy how you remember those numbers.
I don't know.
I'm like so impressed with you
I'm
every
not
time.
Rain Man.
So here's the thing. Bill will rattle off like numbers all the time and he can remember them. I can't remember numbers for anything. I can't even remember phone numbers. But if you told me something 5 years ago in a conversation, I will totally remember that.
Yeah. And I don't know when SeaWorld was open, but it was definitely before 1999.
Yeah.
So for the first time this millennium, we're getting a new theme park with all of the 2020s technology, which is really cool.
I think the first SeaWorld was either in the 70s or 80s, but SeaWorld San Antonio was 88, I think.
I figured SeaWorld Orlando was at least in the 80s.
So SeaWorld, I'm actually not sure what order they came in, but SeaWorld San Diego was the very first one.
Oh, okay.
So, but yeah, basically, we haven't had a new theme park in a very long time.
Right.
And new theme parks opening don't come around very often at all.
No, absolutely not.
All right. So what is our next ride?
I am most excited about this one here, maybe more than anything in the entire park. And this is called a coaster called Starfall Racers, and where you can share a race across the cosmos on Starfall Racers, a breathtaking dual launch coaster reaching incredible speeds up to 62 miles an hour. Board a comet and rocket to furthest reaches of the stars at heights up to 133 feet along 5,000 feet of track. Race along an inverted crisscross known as the Celestial Spin, and a dazzling display of blazing colors and ethereal music. And a really cool fact about Starfall Racers is that their track will have no external lighting in the evening, but the ride vehicles will be fully illuminated, so it will actually look like you are riding a comet shooting across the night sky in Celestial Park.
This is super cool because I feel like this is a really long ride, right?
Yeah, 5,000 feet. That's just under a mile of track. It's a little bit shorter than Guardians of the Galaxy, which is a relatively long roller coaster.
Right.
And Velocicoaster, I believe, tops out at 151 feet, and this tops out at 133 feet. So it's really only 18 feet shorter than the top part of Velocicoaster.
That's a top hat.
The top hat, yes. It is. This seems so much fun. I love launch coasters because I have an issue with heights sometimes. And if I'm going like when you're going up Expedition Everest, it's like you're like, oh God, I don't want to look down, left, right, back, anything. I just want to go. But when I go on Hulk or Velocicoaster or Rock and Roller Coaster or Guardians, just send me. Let's go, baby. Let's not even let me think about it. I'm just send me and we're gonna have some fun.
Yeah, I mean, I totally get that. The doesn't bother me as much.
No way.
The only thing that ever really bothers me is like the restraints when they're just across like your hips or thighs.
Yeah.
And it
like Mako.
Yeah. That is not really my favorite kind of coaster, but I think this one looks amazing. It's got it goes upside down and has some inversions. So I just think
it's fast too.
Yeah.
62, that's as Rock and Roller Coaster fast.
And one thing that's super exciting about, and I'll probably say this about most of these coasters, is when you go on a brand new coaster, you're always amazed at how smooth it is.
Yes.
Especially when you've been going on, these coasters that are so much older for years, you realize how far they've come in their technology.
I don't have it in front of me who's the manufacturer for Starfall Racers, but my one and only hope is that we get the same type of restraints that Velocicoaster has, and not something that you can bang your head back and forth on. I want to have the comfort of not hitting my head while riding a fast roller coaster. And if Starfall Racers has the same restraints as Velocicoaster or something similar that doesn't have that classic pull over your head, big pads on your left and right, I will be very happy.
Yeah, I guess we're just going to have to see, because even if it's made by the same manufacturer, I'm sure that they create different things for different experiences. So, but hopefully if it's in the similar family that Universal used for Velocicoaster, they're going to have comfort at the top of the list in terms of those seats.
Yes. All right. So we're going to move on from attractions to huge, amazing themed restaurants that they're going to have in Celestial Park. And the first one is called Atlantic, and that is an undersea adventure in fine dining. Across the shimmering waters of the Neptune Pool in Celestial Park, Atlantic is an undersea culinary fantasy. Inside glass walls reminiscent of an enormous Victorian aquarium, starfish dwell peacefully with serene, illuminated fish swimming above you. Indulge in exceptional seafood and steaks, or enjoy a cocktail at the lively Aquaria Bar. And like I said, if you're watching on YouTube, youtube.com/a-couple-of-parkhoppers, how awesome does that place look? That looks incredible.
It looks so pretty. I'm trying to figure out, I know it says illuminating the fish swimming above you.
Yeah, so it looks like there's fish that are going to be swimming around above you. I don't know if they're real fish or not, probably not. But the whole thing is going to be glassed in, almost like you're in a big aquarium.
I'm trying to figure out if it's real or not, because like it doesn't say that it's.
I mean, it could be. Judging by the concept art, it doesn't look like it's real.
It says an enormous Victorian aquarium. It's just so interesting because I'm curious if we're going to get an actual aquarium.
Well, it says inside glass walls reminiscent of an enormous Victorian aquarium. So
probably
I think
not.
the restaurant walls are glass, as you can see in the concept art there. But I don't believe there will be an aquarium above our heads.
Okay. That makes sense because I mean, that I feel like actually pulling an aquarium that sits above your head.
That seems super dangerous.
Well, I don't think it's necessarily dangerous. I just think it would be a lot of money.
Sure.
And upkeep, and then you would have to hire like an entire husbandry team to care for the aquarium.
Right.
You would need scuba divers to go in and clean because the sun creates the growth of things in there.
Yeah.
So it would be a whole nother thing.
You know what it probably is? It's probably like these gorgeous like
screens
sculptures of fish that are like kind of swimming around underneath like an LED, like a beautiful LED ocean or something like that.
I would imagine it's kind of like a screen type thing.
It could be.
It
could be. Judging by the concept art, no, I'll pull that back up again here. It looks like the fish are kind of hanging down a little bit.
So you know how it looks when we obviously haven't been there, but in Vegas, the Sphere?
Oh yeah.
You know how like that screen looks very, very real?
Yep.
I just wonder if it's going to be in that kind of realm of, oh yeah, it really, really looks like this is above you.
I mean, probably.
But psych, you don't have an aquarium sitting on top of your head.
Yeah, it'll be like 8K resolution, like all crazy clear.
And I know this is silly, but every time we go somewhere and eat fish and there's an aquarium right next to us, I always feel like really weird, like I'm eating their friends or something. So
fish are friends, not food.
Yeah, but I'm like sitting next to a fish tank.
It feels so wrong,
fish.
doesn't it?
I'm like,
we go to SeaWorld and there's so much seafood on their menu, and you're like, oh.
Yeah, I mean, you don't eat dolphin or anything.
Well, no, but like it just feels weird.
Yeah, but like what I'm saying is like
Should
eating
be just
fish,
strictly meat and vegetables at SeaWorld.
but like watching the fish swimming around and being like, I'm definitely not eating your friends.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, I would probably say that we're looking at here's what I think is going to happen. What we just said,
Yep.
Screens and stuff, with smaller aquariums, like when you walk in and stuff.
Okay.
I think you know, like when we go to Sukihana and they have like an aquarium off to the side.
Yeah.
And then we eat their fish in front of them. We eat their friends.
Yeah.
I think it'll be something like that they'll have something that's like more low maintenance, but that still creates that.
Makes sense.
That's just my guess.
Yeah.
Because those things like that, I think, would be well worth the investment with much lower maintenance rather than an aquarium over your head.
Absolutely.
All right. So the next restaurant.
I'm really excited about this one.
The Blue Dragon Pan Asian Restaurant.
Look at the outside of that, by the way.
Ooh.
How cool is that?
The glow of neon, the allure of Asian delicacies. Step from Celestial Park into the neon streetscape of the Blue Dragon Pan Asian Restaurant, where authentic Asian fare is served in a bustling courtyard under the glow of hanging lanterns. Take a culinary journey across Asia at the Blue Dragon Pan Asian Restaurant at Universal Epic Universe. Step inside a bustling courtyard where it's always evening under the glow of lanterns. Enjoy authentic Pan-Asian cuisine as dazzling neon dragons chase across the walls or curl up with a cocktail at the Tiger Bar.
This is exactly what I'm talking about, with every piece of this theme park being made with 2020's technology. Dazzling neon dragons chasing across the walls. Like, that's not something you see everywhere. But that's the type of stuff that you're going to see at a brand new theme park with 2020's technology, you know?
Yeah.
I am really, really excited about that place. I love most Asian cuisine. I don't love crappy Chinese food, but I love sushi. I love all kinds of different Asian appetizers. I love Asian food. So I'm very, very excited about the Blue Dragon Pan Asian Restaurant.
I'm very excited about this too, just because like I love trying like new food first off, but also like I any kind of Asian inspired food I really do like.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's hard to get something that's like really, really good.
Right.
Because, you know, you just you try someplace and you're like, oh, that was okay. And I just know that this is going to be top tier.
Yeah. Shout out to my friend Andy Wong back home in from Kowloon, Saugus, Massachusetts. If you've never been there, it's iconic. You got to go. Tell Andy we said hi. But that is the best Asian food ever.
Yes,
I love
it really
that place
is.
so much.
It really
I
is.
miss you. But yeah.
I miss the salt and pepper calamari and Andy.
Yes, and Andy too. And then the third restaurant that's supposedly going to be put into the Celestial Park is just going to be a quick service spot, and it's going to be called Pizza Moon. And you guessed it, it's going to be a quick service pizza spot, which is great. It doesn't have to be everything fancy sit down dining, just other food options, to grab quickly to spend more time running around the Epic universe.
I love Alicia Stella. I love everything that she stands for and the work that she does. I think she was one of the most wonderful people.
She's just a great person.
However, Pizza Rizzo might have one of the saddest pizzas that I've ever had.
Yes.
And
that puff pizza is terrible.
And I'm hoping that with how much she knows about this, that she did not get to vote in what Pizza Moon is serving. I'm really sorry, Alicia, but
hopefully Pizza Moon took notes from Connections Cafe at Epcot.
Yeah. So I am hoping for like some really epic pizza.
Yeah, nice.
But when I saw Pizza Moon, for some reason in my head, I was like, is Alicia behind this? Alicia Stella? With her love of Pizza Rizzo.
It's probably copyrighted, but they probably should have called it Moon Pies.
It's probably copyrighted. Yeah.
That would have been awesome.
They probably would have been like, eh. Not the same as those cheap little snackies.
Exactly.
And not even the best ones.
No.
Moon pies.
No, they're terrible.
That's like Sheldon.
Most of that Little Debbie stuff is gross.
Yeah.
In
like
my opinion.
Cooper.
I know there's lots of people that love it, but bleh.
His Mima called him Moon Pie, remember?
That's true. That's true.
But that would have been fun if they called them Moon Pies. But I do think that having a good pizza would be perfect because it's easy to eat. You can stand up.
A nice hearty slice.
And there's no way in the whole world that a pizza, like selling slices in a theme park, that they're not going to be able to have a good profit margin.
Oh my God. Pizza already has a huge profit margin. Never mind when you're selling it for $5 to $10 a slice.
Five.
Depending on the size.
I just know where, I'm expecting like $12 for like a decent slice of pizza, like a giant slice.
Right.
That's what I'm like, what you could pay for like a whole pizza outside of a theme park. But, Pizza Moon, we have a lot of expectations from you.
No pressure.
Please bring your A game.
Better be epic.
Your epic game when it comes to pizza.
Exactly. Well, that's going to kind of wrap it up as far as Celestial Park goes. Like I said, the only part of Epic Universe, and these are the lands again. If you didn't catch the top of the episode, we've got Celestial Park, we've got How to Train Your Dragon, Isle of Berk, we've got Dark Universe, Wizarding World of Harry Potter, Mystery Magic, and Super Nintendo World. Those are the 5 lands that are coming to Epic Universe. But there's one more part that we're going to get to before we move on, actually, from Celestial Park. And that's just one more thing I wanted to note, and that is the Nintendo Superstar store. Superstar. Gaming fans will find something to level up their fun at the Nintendo Superstore. Wow, that's like Mike's super short show. A Nintendo Superstar store. Wow, say that 10 times fast. In Celestial Park. Step inside and discover toys, apparel, and other colorful keepsakes and souvenirs based on characters from Super Nintendo World, trademark, and more. Located just outside the portal entrance to Super Nintendo World, the Nintendo Superstar Store in Celestial Park is where you can level up your collection of toys, apparel, and all things Nintendo.
So Michael Scott's Dunder Mifflin, Scranton. I'm just kidding. So
the Nintendo Superstar Store.
The Nintendo Superstar Store in Celestial Park.
How about the Nintendo Store?
That sounds like you're buying like video games, though.
I mean, I guess, yeah.
Isn't that what you call like when you log on to like the Switch?
That's true.
Where you like buy your game.
It's the Nintendo eShop.
Oh.
Yeah, get it right, Danny.
I don't know. I've only bought one thing. I bought the expansion for Disney Dreamlight Valley.
Yeah, that's true.
And I was like, what do I do? Take my money. But I think this is going to be an awesome place to have this shop, like, because everybody's going to want to get this merch. We've seen the Nintendo merch in the other spots, the other parks that have opened, and all of it is so much fun and unique, and just people are going to want to buy that. And I think that what people will end up doing is as they're leaving Epic Universe, being able to swing in there and pick up something and have another place where you can get your Nintendo merch is going to be really beneficial for them.
It's going to be great. Sneaky place to get Nintendo merch, by the way, is in the Japan Pavilion at Epcot.
Really?
Lots of cool Nintendo stuff in that store. Yeah.
I feel like we're going to have to go check that out.
It's pretty awesome. But like I was saying before, I just wanted to let you guys know who are listening that the only real official details that have been released about Epic Universe were about Celestial Park. So if you're watching on YouTube, like I said, youtube.com/a-couple-of-park-hoppers, you can see a kind of a quick, kind of a pan out shot of what Celestial Park is expected to look like. And what a beautiful, beautiful park, or part of the park that looks like. Very excited to walk through there for the first time. But as we move on to our next 4 worlds, we just wanted to preface that, a lot of this stuff, the official names of the attractions have not been released by Universal. However, there have been trademarks filed with the Orange County. There have been all different kinds of things that our friend Alicia Stella has dug up, and basically all but confirmed. They just haven't said it yet. So we're going to kind of
she's been able to
go
like
with her.
Play CIA agent,
right,
or like Inspector Alicia.
Exactly.
Inspector Alicia. Epic Universe.
Wow. Nice.
But yeah, she's been able to put all those pieces together. And yeah, it's really, really cool to see the way that this is finally coming together from the giant pile of dirt that it used to be.
Absolutely. So with that said, we're going to move on from Celestial Park to How to Train Your Dragon, Isle of Berk. Epic.
Take to the skies and soar with dragons as you explore the colorful Viking village at the heart of Berk. Take part in wild boat battles, feast like a Viking, and more. Instead of soar like with dragons, I almost said roar with dragons.
Ooh, roar with dragons.
And I feel like both of those go. So here you can soar with dragons and have a Viking adventure based on the films. Now, the main attraction is going to be a coaster called Dragon Racers Rally, where you will ride around and through stands seen in the dragon racing segments in the films.
So this is going to be the most intense part of the How to Train Your Dragon Isle of Berk section of the park. It's going to be not as crazy fast as Starfall Racers, but it's going to be the most adult-oriented ride. It's going to be a roller coaster through the whole How to Train Your Dragon section of Epic Universe. Really excited about this one. There's so many really great rides coming to Epic Universe. And I don't really know much about the How to Train Your Dragon franchise. I've never actually seen one of the movies. I've tried to watch it once, like when I was laying on the couch and I ended up falling asleep. No offense to How to Train Your Dragon. I was just tired and I fell asleep. But I would love to sit up and watch these films before Epic Universe opens, just so I have a better idea of the characters and the lore and the stories before I go to try to immerse myself in it. I think that would be a really good idea.
One thing I do know is that the How to Train Your Dragon series, when it first came out, it was a really big deal. And I feel like this was a long time ago. This was maybe like 10 years ago.
Oh, at least that, yeah.
It was a really big deal because one of the characters is LGBTQIA plus. I'm not sure what they would fall into in that because we haven't seen it. But I do know that at the time it was a really big deal because to have that in a film, and I feel like we have come a little bit further, not as far as we should have, but like since then. But I really love that that they chose a IP that is pride friendly, basically.
Yeah, sure.
I think that Universal, as a company, is also pride friendly.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope I'm saying like that term, like, or describing what I'm trying to say correctly. Inclusive. Yes. Thank you. But one thing I remember is that, and I just never got around to being able to watch it. I think it came out of the theaters and then it just wasn't something I ever saw.
And all of a sudden there was a fourth one.
It's
like,
know how that
apparently there's a
happens.
live action one coming too. So we definitely got to make sure we catch up on How to Train Our Dragons.
Yes, exactly.
We definitely got to figure that out. But one thing that I didn't get to point out during our Celestial Park segment is something I'm going to show you right now. I'm going to pull the concept art or the logo back up on the screen here. For those of you watching on YouTube, youtube.com/a couple of parkhoppers. If you're not subscribed, go subscribe now. It is these portals. And if you see it on the right side here, there's a portal here that will actually lead you into the How to Train Your Dragon world. And now each of the different worlds at Epic Universe are going to have their own portal.
Ooh.
And they're all going to be uniquely themed to the actual land. So it's not just like a tunnel where you walk through and then you're in How to Train Your Dragon Isle of Berk. No, it's going to have a saying on the outside. I can't quite read it. I think it says...
Is that English?
Yes, I can't quite read it on here, but it says we are friends, have dragons, or something like that. I can't really make
I just
it
noticed
out.
there's a dragon eye on there.
Yeah, oh yeah, there's a dragon eye. There's a whole like mountain there that it's on. It's gonna be a really amazingly themed portal, and I'm really excited to see those at night when we have a chance to go to Epic Universe at night to see everything kind of lit up and stunning the way it should be.
Yeah.
But that portal is going to be on the outside as well, including the very front of the park. It's going to be like a Kronos at the front of the park with a big portal that leads you into the Epic Universe. So there's definitely a really cool theme going on there with the portals.
I am curious how they're going to utilize those portals also, like in the sense of, are they going to be using them to like help with numbers in each of the lands?
Well, that's a good question. I don't know if it's going to like track capacity or anything like that.
We're not going to know that until then, but I wonder if that's also going to be a good way to like...
It's a great idea.
...not have a certain section overrun.
Right. I don't know if it'll be so far as to like the exit or entrance of the parks where they have like the turnstiles that would count you. But I would imagine that, maybe to track capacity, there may be some sort of measuring something in there.
But even like just the fact that it bottlenecks right there, they can like, hey, we're at capacity, come back in an hour.
I think it's more or less just to keep the immersion rather than just being able to see straight in. It's more or less you got to go through the portal to be put into the universe.
I'm just wondering if there'll be other ways to utilize those to make the entire experience more enjoyable for everybody.
It's possible.
Going. Just a thought. I mean, that hasn't been discussed at all, but when you were showing that picture, I was just wondering because they look pretty cool and like they could, be able to do multiple things with them, and not just make it like an entrance. Have different technology in there, but again, we don't know. But I think that they're setting the bar pretty high for themselves, and I know that they're going to follow through.
Right.
But okay, in How to Train Your Dragon, Isle of Berk, we know of 3 other attractions.
Yes.
And we don't really know too much about them yet.
Yeah, there ain't much official information, so we're going to kind of keep it vague. But like Danie said, there are 3 more attractions in this land.
The second attraction is going to be a family-friendly boat ride. The third attraction is going to be a family-friendly coaster to be called Hiccup's Wing Gliders.
And I've heard this is going to be around the intensity of Flight of the Hippogriff.
That's what even hearing the name, it sounds like that.
Right.
The fourth attraction, 2 Skyfly spinning flat rides. What
now,
is
do you know what those are? So I don't have a visual of them to show you, but they're basically like these 2 gigantic posts that are next to each other with these big things hanging off of them with seats.
Okay.
And they like spin around. You know what I'm talking about?
Uh-huh.
They kind of look like if you were balancing something on like a golf tee upside down, and then you were on the like each side of the rides, and it like does like the I can't describe it. It kind of like rotates you around in the air.
Is it kind of like the one that's in maybe I'm wrong, but the one that was in Sesame Street Land? The one that was like spinning, the Oscar the Grouch ride?
No,
not like that.
It's up in the air.
Oh. Wow.
I can't think of something else that's comparable off the top of my head, but it's something I feel like you would see at like Six Flags.
Okay. And it's not the one that like turns like a spit.
Man, I wish I had grabbed a picture of it.
Well, here's the thing. All we know, we don't know enough about it.
Right.
And we don't have any like photos of it. So all I can really say about that is that we know that
Stay tuned.
we know that it's coming, and it sounds like it's going to have a different type of intensity than any other kind of ride, not just like a general coaster or anything like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that having all of these different ride experiences, I love a good boat ride personally. And I think that when they have the boat ride, that's one of the ones that I'm curious and excited to see what they end up coming up with.
So this is just I don't know if you guys can see the visual on my camera here, but this is kind of what I'm talking about. It's got like one side that's like weighted, and then one side has seats on it. I'll show you. And it kind of like spins around while you're sitting on it.
I've never
You've never seen
something
anything like that before?
Interesting.
Yeah, maybe a little bit better of a look.
It's only on one side?
Yeah, it's only on one side because the other side is weighted, so it like spins around.
Okay. I've never seen anything like that before.
Yeah,
I've seen something like that. Like usually you see that at like
it's exactly what it's going to be.
It's kind of like a carnival ride almost.
Kind of, yeah.
And when I say carnival, I mean like that's just typically where you see something like that.
Right.
Yeah, that'll be really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I just think that the How to Train Your Dragon Isle of Berk world has a good mix of different rides.
Right. No, yeah, for sure. There's family friendly, there's intense, there's a boat ride. I think it's great that they're putting so many different types of attractions in there.
I wanted to call it a land, and I was like, wait.
Yeah, we're calling them worlds here.
Yeah, that's what broke my brain for a second.
And then the final thing that's been basically announced is there will be dining locations named after Mead Hall, which is a place in the films, and then another restaurant called Spitfire Grill with the theming
FYRE.
Yes, like the festival.
Fire Fest. Are we gonna get cheese sandwiches?
Oh God! When you're promised filet mignon.
Yeah.
No, but Spitfire Grill is going to be themed after dragons, and it's literally going to be, from what I've gathered, food on like spits, and like almost like kebabs,
like shish kebabs.
Yeah, exactly. And they're supposed to be cooked by the dragon's breath.
What's the difference between a kebab and a shish kebab?
Same thing.
What makes the shish?
I don't know. A whole lot of shish. I don't know.
Quit with your shish.
Shish already.
All right.
Before we get away from ourselves here.
Enough of that shish.
Wow.
Coming up,
Nice.
our next world is going to be
Dark Universe. You're welcome.
a world where Universal classic monsters are reimagined. That description isn't quite as long as the other ones.
It is not. It is not. There's not. Universal is withholding a lot of information from Dark Universe and the Wizarding World. They're not talking a whole lot about it officially. There's a lot of speculation and different things that are being talked about by Alicia Stella and other bloggers, but none of it's officially been announced outside of the fact that the Universal monsters are being reimagined. And there have been visuals of the 3 monsters that will be featured in the main attraction of this land. And that will be Dracula, Frankenstein's monster, and a brand new character named Dr. Victoria Frankenstein. Now, if you remember the story of Frankenstein, Victor Frankenstein was the doctor.
Not the monster.
Correct. Frankenstein, a lot of people call the monster Frankenstein, but it's actually the doctor who created him. So he's technically Frankenstein's monster. However, Dr. Victoria Frankenstein seems to be either probably a relative or a daughter or a niece or somebody related. If your name is that close to Victor Frankenstein and you're Victoria Frankenstein, I would imagine it's got to be, a first wave of your family type family member.
Right.
But the rumored name for the main attraction is supposedly going to be Monsters Unchained: The Frankenstein Experiment.
Ooh.
And this is rumored to be a Kuka Arm attraction. What is a Kuka Arm, may you ask? It is very similar to Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey. However, because a lot of people have a lot of issues with the motion sickness switching in between the physical sets and the carouseling screens that you're riding in front of on Forbidden Journey, this ride will supposedly have very little use of screens. So it's going to be mostly physical sets. I would imagine there will be large LED screens that you encounter maybe as backgrounds of sets, just so you can have really cool visuals in the backgrounds, but they're not going to be relying a lot on kind of flying around or anything like that, like Forbidden Journey has. And you're going to be encountering these Universal monsters on this ride.
So if you're watching on YouTube, youtube.com/a couple of park hoppers, the Kuka arm is, let's see, it kind of looks like this. So it like rolls like where my elbow is, and then the movement is at my wrist.
Correct.
Is that correct?
Yes. So the 4 seats are on where your hand is.
4 seats.
Yes. Just like Forbidden Journey. And then it can go left, right, up, down, backwards, whatever it needs to do.
But like where my elbow is where you get moved along.
It's grounded. Yeah. It's on wheels, basically.
So it allows for, the cool thing about these rides is it allows for a lot of movement because of the grounding where my elbow is, because then in theory you could turn any which way.
Basically free range of motion.
And they can put you wherever they want you to go.
Exactly. Like a puppet.
Like a puppet. So when I hear Kuka arm, I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yes.
But that is the term for it. And it's really cool. And I think that ride came out so long ago with that technology that they have. The possibilities are endless for them.
Yeah, Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey opened in 2010.
Jeez.
Which is 14 years ago at this point. And so 14 years later, I got to imagine that the Kuka arm technology is even better.
Right.
And so that coupled with physical sets and classic monsters with new looks, I am super excited about this ride. It's going to be the kind of the main attraction of the Dark Universe area. And real quick, watching on YouTube, that portal is freaking cool. And it's going to have all kinds of like lightning and like lighting effects and stuff at night on the top there. And then the inscription above the entrance says "It's alive, it's alive," and that's the way that Mary Shelley wrote in Frankenstein how Dr. Frankenstein realized that the monster was alive. He said,
Right.
"It's alive,
In
it's
the
alive."
book,
In the
right?
book, correct. So a really cool nod there to the original source material. Yeah.
I don't know if you can see on the screens, but I got my hair colored purple. I don't think you might be able to see it when on the TV.
If more of you guys subscribe to Patreon and follow us and subscribe on everything, we'll start making more money for better cameras.
Well, the reason I said that is because when you pull up that picture, can you pull that up again? The one you were just showing? The purple in the eye, like where the eye is, and like the purple above looks almost like a villain, like how usually they use green. I feel like that's kind of what they're using, and I feel like my hair color is like this dark universe villain color.
Yeah.
So I will match with the dark universe.
I don't have the photo of it, and I wish I had grabbed it, but they did actually release some concept footage in the big reveal for Epic Universe that Universal posted on their YouTube page of what the exterior of this attraction is going to look like, and it looks like a big, like a haunted manor, and all kinds of lighting effects and like vines and bricks like falling out, and it looks incredible.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to see this in person.
I think it's going to look amazing.
Yes. And then the second attraction at Dark Universe will be a spinning coaster, and the rumored name is the Curse of the Werewolf. And the intensity lies somewhere between, reportedly, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train and Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure. So not a kiddie ride, but not super intense either. And it's supposed to be able to spin 360 degrees while you're riding it.
And if I remember correctly, in one of the videos, Alicia mentioned that in this ride, there is being built a building that you go into. It's where you get launched.
Yes. Yep.
And in that area, I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure she said that it was like more of where she thought that we might see the transformation of the werewolf.
Of us to a werewolf.
Correct.
I think it was.
Yeah.
Super cool.
And I think that's what a unique concept.
I love it.
The thing is, if you're like us, you wait all year for Halloween, and then everything happens in a couple of weeks, it feels like, and then it's gone. And this is going to give us a little bit of that Halloween fix almost throughout the year.
Yeah.
Even though technically it's not Halloween. What does my shirt say? Every day is Halloween.
Yep.
So I think that's going to be very, very cool. I do also wonder in that area what they're going to like recommend in terms of age.
I would imagine the entire park is going to be family friendly, but there may be some sort of warnings.
Because I want more spooky. Like if the kids can't handle it, then just warn them.
I think that at night it's going to be a lot more scary than it is during the day because of the ability of lighting effects and that manor that I was talking about. And if supposedly there's going to be like a haunted graveyard and all kinds of stuff around the manor.
Right.
So I think it's going to be incredible walking through there in the evening just to see what that area alone looks like.
Yeah. And for Dark Universe, we do not have any dining locations as of yet.
Nothing announced, but there definitely will be dining in there.
Well, nothing
for sure.
that we that's rumored or anything like that.
Not that I know of, at least in my research.
I will say that even though we don't have any like guesses or like we're seeing anything built, that we're starting to, put pieces together and play investigator, I would love to see all sorts of themed foods in this section. Because like even for like Halloween Horror Nights, I love the themed food. Even something as simple as those pizza skulls.
Yeah, that was exactly what I was thinking
give me a pizza Frankenstein
Ooh,
like face.
Yes.
Like if you can shape it into a skull, I'm sure you could shape it into some of those other creatures.
Yeah.
Like that would be an awesome like quick service snack.
Absolutely.
So, and we're not saying that it would happen, but I am personally excited to see the theming with the dining experiences in this section too, because that's one of the pieces of Halloween Horror Nights that we don't really get the rest of the year.
Correct.
We don't get spooky foods.
Nope. All right. Well, we're going to move on to our next world, and that is the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, Ministry of Magic.
From 1920s Paris to the 1990s British Ministry, explore international wizarding communities and the magic that connects them in the wizarding world of Harry Potter, Ministry of Magic. Now, most of these things are still rumors, correct?
Universal is keeping this land or this world under super wraps. They are not revealing anything officially.
Well, we're going to go over these rumors because, you know, again, we're not pulling these out. These are things that there's some pieces that people have put together to come up with these rumors and to lead to these rumors. They're not just dreaming these up.
Exactly.
So, all right, rumored. Well, the exteriors around the area's main attraction are themed to Paris. We will magically travel via the Flu network to arrive in the British Ministry when entering. Again, Universal has not revealed any ride details at this time.
I love this idea because when I started watching all the rumored stuff with Epic Universe, and they were like, "Oh, the new Harry Potter land is going to be themed after Fantastic Beasts." I was like, "Oh," because I've seen them, didn't love them, but it was going to be themed after Fantastic Beasts and the 1920s French Ministry of Magic, and I was like, "That's cool. I'll go through it, but I won't be nearly as excited as if it was." The IP type of stuff that we're, all in love with. And when I heard this, when I saw Epic starting to be built, it was very much 1920s France that's being built there. However, when you go into whatever building you're going to go into and you enter that Flu network through a fireplace, I assume, because that's what they do in the films. You are being transported to the actual Ministry of Magic in England, which is super cool. What a cool idea.
I had to have something that we've discussed about this.
Yeah.
In the movies, the Ministry of Magic is about 27,000 times cooler than it is in the actual movies. The books, just the way that they describe everything is, for lack of better words, epic. And I feel like when you see it in the movies, it kind of looks like you're going to an office. But in my opinion, when you read it in the books, it really feels like a very big magical place where there's really cool stuff happening around you. And so I would like to think that we're going to see what was in the books come to life.
Yeah.
Better than it did in the movies.
I'm so curious what this is going to look like. Are we going to have that giant room that I immediately think of with the Ministry of Magic? You know what I'm talking about? That big black, kind of mirror looking room.
Yeah. I think so.
I hope so. That would be really cool.
I think that because the way it is described is just very magical. I mean, it's really hard to come up with the words to describe the way that
it's the magical ministry
that it's written. The way that it's written, it is worthy of having an entire world at Epic Universe for. So I'm very excited about this because, again, books are always better than the movies, but I think that in this case, we're going to see them have the technology to be able to bring this area to life and to do it justice.
Exactly.
So yeah, I'm very excited about that. I just want to say that because like when I saw the movies, if I was going based off of that, I'd be like, that's cool. But it's they didn't quite capture the huge and vastness of what the Ministry of Magic was.
Right. And in the video that Universal released, kind of unveiling what Epic Universe is going to be, they were very tight-lipped on the attraction here at the Wizarding World of Harry Potter Ministry of Magic. It was basically like, you have to see this ride to believe it. And that's all they said. So I don't know what the ride system is going to be, what type of ride it is. Maybe that information's out there, but I have not actively really seeked it out. Because I like to kind of wait for the details for those attractions when they're officially announced to really kind of get hyped for when something new is opening. So I'm trying to avoid whatever that ride is going to be, but it sounds like it's going to be epic.
Well, we got two other rumors here.
This one I know you're excited about.
Well, I'm going to go to the...
Go to the last one first.
A live stage show.
Yeah.
And end of rumor. Like we don't know anything about it.
We don't know anything about the details of the show, but that is basically announced. That is happening.
But here's one thing that I will say, and I'm hoping that I'm correct in this. Oh no, I'm definitely correct in this.
Ooh.
Voldemort went to the Ministry of Magic.
Harry Potter.
Whereas in the other rides, he like we've discussed, that's one of my issues with Escape from Gringotts.
Yeah.
Voldemort was never in there. Where when Harry Potter was like, alert the media, Voldemort is back, and everybody's like, this kid, blah, like, no way.
Like, no, seriously, bro, do it.
Voldemort was in there, and they saw him, and that's how they knew, oh, he's back. This is official. So I wonder if that will tie in at all.
Possibly.
Like even into a live stage show.
Right.
Like, especially if we are in Wizarding World of Harry Potter Ministry of Magic, that's a big deal that happens there.
Yeah.
And then, yes, this one, the other rumor is one that I talked about way before this was a rumor.
Yeah, you did.
And I said, did we talk about it on the show?
No.
Okay, this is just couch talk. Like when we were sitting on the couch and...
Offline.
Yes. Rumored Great Hall dining experience in 2026. Wizarding World expected to receive first park expansion. If true, this dinner theater experience would allow diners to eat within the Great Hall after using magical flue travel to enter the Hogwarts castle from Wizarding Paris. Special effects are rumored to create storytelling experiences along the ceiling while you dine.
This sounds awesome.
So this is something that when Bill and I had just been sitting on the couch and discussing what I wanted out of Harry Potter world.
Yep.
One of the things I said was, I want to go to the Great Hall. I want to dine in the Great Hall. I want some sort of experience where the food appears in front of you. And I don't mean like abracadabra. I mean like some sort of thing where like it can rise up from below the table, which is what happens in the books. In the books, and I don't think it's really touched about in the movies, the house elves actually live in the castle. And there is a kitchen underneath the Great Hall.
Right.
So they prepare all the food, and then they put it onto like the... Magically, they send it up to appear on the tables above them. So that's the whole thing that happens in the books, and we see it happen in the movies. We don't really know like kind of as much the behind the scenes of how it works. And I think it would be so cool if they can figure out a way to almost have it delivered to your table like that.
I feel like the logistics of that would be a total nightmare.
Wouldn't the logistics of opening an entire theme park be a total nightmare?
Yeah, but for like health reasons, I feel like that would be a total disaster.
I mean, you're
A
probably
disaster
right.
where like the server like brings out your food and like puts it on a little thing at your table, and then something opens up and it rises up, or it'd be cool, but you'd still be not immersed.
I mean, if we can sit in a restaurant and sushi fly past us all day,
Yeah,
like,
but that's just a turntable
I mean, could it be something
or a
like
conveyor
that?
belt.
I mean, could it be something like that?
It could be,
I mean,
but it's not flying up or rising up or whatever.
Well, what
so.
I'm saying is, like, if they're gonna create something like that, make it magical.
Sure.
Like, the worst thing that could happen is if this rumor is true and it's like a quick service type of thing.
Yeah.
If you're not going to do it right, don't do it at all, is the way I say. But it sounds like the rumor is more of a dinner theater experience, in which I would expect kind of what we discussed years ago.
Yeah. I love it. I think it's fantastic. Be able to walk into the Great Hall and see like the floating candles and stuff happening on the ceiling, and maybe an animatronic Dumbledore or a real live actor Dumbledore like doing stuff and talking to you while you're eating, and maybe even a fun sorting hat presentation for the kids. You know, something really cool like that at the front, because they did say, or the rumor does say, that it's like a theater experience.
So the other thing about the Great Hall is, in the movies and in the books, we see that anytime there's a holiday, the Great Hall is decorated.
That would be cool too.
In turn, like with whatever, Valentine's Day, Halloween, Christmas, celebrating whatever it is that they're celebrating. I also want to say that in the Great Hall, the ceiling shows like what the weather is like.
That's correct.
And
because remember when the Death Eaters were coming in, it was getting like dark and swirly in there.
Right. So I feel like there's a lot of possibility to create a very, very like beautiful experience.
Absolutely.
One other thing I hope to see is owl animatronics in there.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
So not necessarily like flying around or anything, but in the Great Hall when they're dining, like remember when Ron got the howler?
Yeah.
They would like owl came by, dropped that howler. So like they were getting mail delivered in
Ron Weasley.
That sounds like a logistical nightmare, having owls flying all over your food.
Yeah, that'd be great.
But I would love to see all those details come to life if this rumor is true.
Absolutely. So super exciting stuff coming from the Wizarding World of Harry Potter Ministry of Magic. And let me just show you guys the portal here for the Wizarding World here. I can't quite make out what that says. It says, "For in dreams we enter a world that is eternally our own." That's what it says.
That sounds like something Dumbledore said. You
Probably.
said, "For in dreams."
You're going to make me get closer here. It says, "For in dreams we enter a world that is entirely our own." And Simba is going crazy. We're going to pause the stream real.
And we are back. Here on YouTube, you guys are getting the behind the scenes full
live
loud doggy experience when an Amazon employee knocks on our door, even though it says not to.
Love that.
But on the portal, it says, "For in dreams we enter a world that is entirely our own."
And who said that?
That was Albus Dumbledore.
Dumbledore.
Now, the whole quote in the book is, "For in dreams we enter a world that is entirely our own. Let them swim in the deepest ocean or glide over the highest cloud."
Ooh.
So they took like the
That's deep.
meat and potatoes of that piece and
I love it.
they added it to the portal, which I think is awesome.
Yeah, I love the little sayings that are on the portal. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, and I love that they pulled that one. But I think that portal is amazing, and I'm super excited for Wizarding World of Harry Potter Ministry of Magic.
All right, so moving on to our fifth and final world here at Epic Universe, let's go on to Super Nintendo World. Woohoo!
At Super Nintendo World, you'll experience a new way to play, from challenging Bowser on the Mario Kart ride to venturing through Donkey Kong Country and so much more. The main attraction that everybody is very excited about, this is the one that has been talked about a lot, is the rumored name of Donkey Kong Minecart Madness.
Yes. So right now there are 2 other iterations of Super Nintendo World that are open in the world, over in Japan and at Universal Hollywood.
Right.
However, neither one of these currently have the Donkey Kong Minecart Madness.
Dang. One of a kind.
One of them will before Epic Universe, but don't yet. So we don't know what this looks like. We don't know exactly what the ride looks like visually while you're on it. There's no POVs, anything like that. So this whole thing is just a world of surprise right now.
Now where they're getting the Donkey Kong roller coaster, and again we don't know the name. Is it going to be like a copy paste? Do we know that yet or not sure?
That I don't know.
Okay, so we're not sure about that yet.
I don't know if it's going to be an exact copy and paste. It might be larger because of space at Epic Universe. The Super Nintendo World at Epic Universe will be the biggest one in the world.
Ooh,
so
the most epic one?
Yeah, I mean, serves it right?
Right.
But the part that I'm really intrigued by is that the roller coaster that is the Donkey Kong Minecart Madness is built in a way where the track is actually rotated sideways. So when you're riding on it, the track is actually facing sideways, like vertical. And the wheels that are on it are on an arm, and then you're on a cart that's hanging on that arm. And when you're riding it, it appears like you're riding on a cartoony track, like in the game, like in the mine carts. And then there would be certain points where that cartoony track will end. However, your main track won't end. You'll stay on that track, but it will simulate like you're jumping over stuff,
like you do in the game.
Exactly, which is such a cool idea.
It's going to scare people.
Whoever thought of that was like, what?
I just know people who aren't expecting it are going to be like,
yeah.
Oh no.
The track ends and we're going to keep going forward and we're not going to stop like Hagrid's or Expedition Everest. You know, it's like, we're just going to keep going forward. We're doing this, right?
I think this is one thing I'm very excited to see.
So cool.
I think that the idea that it's going to look like you're jumping over the track is a technology that
it's such a simple idea, though.
I mean, it is a simple idea, but we haven't seen it like in action.
Right. It's a simple idea, but it's also brilliant at the same time.
So brilliant.
It's going to give that immersion of you thinking you're going to fall in the crack and you're going to jump over it and we're going to keep going. And that's so, so cool. Donkey Kong being featured in the theme park is also awesome. Donkey Kong is such an underrated Nintendo character. I'm so happy that he's getting his light of day and his due here at Super Nintendo World. So that attraction, I'm super looking forward to that. The second attraction will be Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge, which does exist already in the other 2 Super Nintendo Worlds. Very excited to have this down the street from me rather than having to go to California or Japan right now.
Which we would like to go to eventually.
Absolutely. But to experience this attraction, to not have to get on a plane is going to be awesome. And I cannot wait to see what this actual VR stuff looks like in person, because it translates horribly to video. When somebody tries to take a video through their glasses, it just doesn't look good at all. However, I've been told by people who have been on it that it is way better in person. And so that makes me hopeful and excited to get on Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge.
I'm very excited about all of these rides.
Yeah.
The third attraction is going to be a slow-moving children ride themed with Yoshi, rumored Yoshi's Adventure.
Yes.
So I was just going to say that all of these rides, I feel like I'm going to enjoy regardless of who they're for.
Yeah, right. The Yoshi's Adventure is basically kind of like an Omnimover type attraction when you think of like Little Mermaid or Haunted Mansion, where you just get in the vehicle and it's still kind of moving when you get on it. And then it's just going to be kind of riding all throughout Super Nintendo World. It'd be almost like their People Mover, except you're on Yoshi. And I think that's super fun. One really cool thing that I did here, and this makes me so happy that they actually, complied with the ADA stuff, but B, also themed it so it didn't really feel out of place. And so you're basically you're riding in a Yoshi on this ride.
Okay.
However, for the folks who need to get on with a wheelchair or an ECV, you're going to be riding in Yoshi's egg.
Stop it.
How awesome is that?
That's so cute.
What a cool idea. So you're going to be sitting like in a half an eggshell. Instead of on Yoshi, you'll be in like the egg that he pops out of.
See, I'm glad that you said people mover, but like I was thinking in Seuss Land, the little like
The trolley thing?
the trolley that
Yeah.
goes, but like way cooler and way
Right.
bigger.
Right.
But I would say like if those two had a baby and then made it Super Nintendo World
Exactly.
themed. I love that though, that you
Isn't
know
that awesome?
that they have a way to you know, have anybody who needs to something other than like just a regular old seat.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is amazing for that inclusion.
And looking at the portal to Super Nintendo World, you've got Mario right on the little where the eyeball was on the How to Train Your Dragon. You've got a coin, you've got some pipes, you've got a mushroom, you get the flower, and then the words are, "Here we go." I love it. So cool.
I love that.
I'm such a geek when it comes to Nintendo stuff, and especially Mario. So being able to walk in there for the first time, I'm going to be very giddy. Can't wait.
I also love that I know this is like just kind of going back, that they're thinking of so many ways to be inclusive
Yes,
in
yes.
this park, because it's the first time in a very long time that they're building a park and can take those things into consideration, even though I'm sure they were like in the past, but like I don't know, we're in a whole new world.
The only thing that I'm really wishing for out of this entire theme park is to them listening to the noise for the last 20 years with anything that Universal has ever built. Velocicoaster maybe being the lone exception, maybe Hagrid's too, is not make your rides for 120-pound people. It ain't gonna. It's crazy how tight some of these rides are, even for people who are not fluffy. You know,
Yeah, there's
these Universal rides are notoriously for very thin people.
well, and it's just almost like there's a margin where, like, over a certain, because bodies come in all different shapes and sizes.
And let me put it this way before you finish that thought. I'm 5'10", 230 pounds. I've never had a problem fitting in a Universal ride, but damn, they are tight sometimes.
Yeah, I just
Just
think that
the leg room.
bodies come in all shapes and sizes.
Yeah.
And the thing about that is there are a decent amount of Universal rides where, depending on like the way that your body exists,
Right.
like maybe one ride you're fine on and another one, because I've heard people, like, I've never had an issue getting on a Universal ride, but there are some rides where I'm like, whew, like E.T., my hips do not like that ride.
No.
Can I ride? Sure can.
The
Do my hips like it? Absolutely not.
the seats on Gringotts and the Mummy are super tight. Just like they're so not wide.
But also, it's not Escape from Gringotts. It's the other one.
Forbidden Journey.
Forbidden Journey.
Yeah.
My
Chest.
yes. It squishes it.
Yeah.
So every once in a while, like, I'll get on there and I'm just like, whoop, okay, like I'm good. But
Mm-hmm.
so I totally agree. I really, 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 really hope that they build their rides to be more inclusive to everybody. 'Cause like, even though, you know, neither of us have ever had an issue in that sense.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want to be like walking up to a ride and, you know, worried about something like that.
For a ride that was built
Fun.
for a ride that was built in the last 10 years, you know, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, even for me, who I'm not tall and I'm not huge, is wildly tight and uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And it needs to be, every roller coaster from now on should be like Guardians and have wide, very comfortable seats, but you can also pull the restraint down far enough where you're very secure.
Yeah.
Everything should be like Guardians.
And it's funny that you say that, because in some of these theme park groups, you'll see people who will be like, I weigh 400 pounds or 300 something pounds. And they're like, I'm poo shaped is what they like to call it.
Yeah.
Am I going to be able to ride rides at Disney? And it's really interesting because a lot of times people say, oh, you'll be fine. I'm kind of your shape, people will say.
Yeah.
But go to this group. And there are groups dedicated to that. But a lot of people will always say, oh, maybe Universal is not a good place for you to try to, challenge that.
Right. Yeah.
But, you may be able to ride this ride and this ride. So it's really interesting, just the general consensus is that there is a certain body type that you may have to wait until you're about to get on the ride to find out if you can even ride.
Correct.
At Universal.
And they do have test seats at most of the places, but it's not a pleasant experience for somebody to get turned away when you waited in line,
Yeah, exactly. So I totally agree with you. I'm very much hoping that they have heard that, and that they're trying to be more inclusive.
Mm-hmm.
And
there has to be limits somewhere, but
well, yeah, but
but a lot of these rides are manufactured for 5'5", 110-pound people.
Yeah.
It's no one looks like that anymore unless you're 13.
Right. And
anyway,
you're totally right. So I do hope that we see that body inclusivity.
Yeah.
Because again, it's not just about health. It's some people also have, different medical conditions that can prevent them from being able to lose weight. Maybe, there's all sorts of things, and it's about making sure that people are feel safe and they feel like they can have fun and not be stressed about something like that. So, man, I really hope that you're right.
Correct. I mean, if Guardians can do it and Velocicoaster and Hagrid's can do it, every ride can do it.
Right. This is 2024, people.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
All right. So that is the end of our discussion of the worlds.
Well, actually, we missed one thing.
We did. Oh, we did. Yes.
Bowser Jr. Shadow Showdown. That is
so many mouthfuls.
Rather than a ride, Shadow Showdown is more of an in-park adventure requiring power-up bands, which are Mario-themed wristbands that enable guests to battle enemies, unlock stamps, and collect coins by tapping question mark blocks. Will be available for purchase. So it's like a magic band type of thing?
Yeah, so that's what power bands are. They're basically purchasable bands that you can utilize around Super Nintendo World playing different mini games and all kinds of stuff. Think the data pad thing on your My Disney Experience app in Galaxy's Edge. There's so many different things that you can do around the world that you wouldn't even know unless you knew it was happening.
Right.
But the power-up bands are something that you can purchase, and you walk around Super Nintendo World inside, and you can tap one of the question mark blocks, and it'll send your account something, points or whatever you're doing for the day. So there's all kinds of fun interactive stuff outside of just the rides and the attractions and the food and dining and shopping. There's also this whole other level of game, which sounds super fun. Love to get a Mario or a Luigi or maybe even a Wario or a Peach or one of those cool power-up bands. Something else you got to buy, right? But it sounds like it could be, super fun to just go there one day and just try to play all the games.
Yeah.
And not necessarily ride anything.
Also, speaking of purchasing, we know that the shopping location is going to be called Mario Motors.
Mario Motors.
One thing that I did want to mention, and this is just more of a random thought, is I'm also excited to see what kind of characters we are going to see in these worlds.
Yes.
From Harry Potter, which is, I don't know if we're ever going to really see any characters like we want to.
No, at least not the main ones. You'll probably see Hogwarts students and things like that, but
yeah. But with the monsters, with How to Train Your Dragon,
I would imagine you're definitely going to see monsters.
With Mario, I know that like those are really cool meet and greets. I think that there's a lot of opportunity to do cool stuff with that we haven't seen before.
Yeah, because there's so many other monsters in Dark Universe outside of Dracula, Frankenstein's monster, and Victoria Frankenstein. So there should be, the Wolfman and the Creature from the Black Lagoon and things like that that should be featured at some point, those Universal Classic monsters in Dark Universe.
Yeah.
Plus all the other lands as well. So love to see characters. We know we've seen pictures and videos of the Nintendo characters from the other parks, so I would assume that they're going to be in Orlando as well. But we'll see what characters end up transpiring in the land so that you can actually meet, and that'll be just another thing you'll be able to do.
Yeah.
Which would be great.
I'm excited to see that too, just as a kind of a side note. So.
Absolutely. So what I'm showing you right now on YouTube, and it's actually been the background of our episode here the entire time, is a full concept art of Epic Universe. You can actually if you look closely, you can see all the different portals and everything that will take you into the different lands. But this is kind of, it's interesting to look at the park as a whole, because you see the front entrance on the left, and then you're going left towards Super Nintendo World, but there's a lot of oddly kind of fogged out wooded area around this concept art, and that is telling me that those are mostly expansion plots and areas to put other stuff to make Epic Universe even more epic. And the supposed expansion to the Harry Potter area will probably go right next to the wizarding area right there, because like it said in the rumor that you would need to take the Flute Network to Hogwarts Castle to do the Great Hall dining experience. So this is kind of like a quick overview of the entire park that you can see here on the screen, youtube.com/a-couple-of-park-hoppers. You can view that for yourself there as well. Early access if you're a Patreon subscriber, patreon.com/a-couple-of-park-hoppers. But yeah, just what a gorgeous property this is going to be. Now, in the back right corner, you see a really large structure there. And that is one of the newest resorts coming to Universal Epic Universe. And just because Danny said to do it, I'm going to hit our little epic sound here, because we're going to talk about the 3 resorts that are coming to Epic Universe. So here you go.
3 new resorts.
So the first one we're going to talk about is the Universal Helios Grand Hotel, and that is the structure that you saw in the back corner of that concept art, and that hotel is magnificent.
So enter a divine escape with dazzling views of Universal Epic Universe. Beautiful details of celestial patterns and constellations adorn the hotel with an elegant Mediterranean-inspired feel. With a dedicated and exclusive entrance into Universal Epic Universe theme park, you'll be transported to a fantastical world where heavens and earth unite at this full-service hotel. Opening in 2025, valid theme park admission is required for park entry.
And that is because the hotel, the Grand Helios Hotel, or Universal Helios Grand Hotel, is actually inside the theme park, which is basically unheard of for any of the theme parks.
Right.
Here. Now, you've got Disney's Animal Kingdom Lodge that is on the Savannah, and that's about as close as you'll get to currently having a Disney resort in what feels like a theme park. Universal currently has the Hard Rock Hotel, which is steps from the theme park, but it's not in the theme park. This Helios Grand Hotel is going to literally be in Epic Universe. There's going to be a very specific entrance into the resort to and from the theme park. And then the views on that side of the resort will overlook Celestial Park. How bananas is that?
That's so crazy.
Amazing that you can actually stay in a room and like look over the theme park. And I know that out in Disney, you've got either the Grand Californian or it's Pixar Pier that overlooks the parks out there in
Right.
California, but we have nothing like that here in Orlando. And to be able to maybe grab a drink or something like a rooftop bar or anything like that and overlook the theme park, that would be so freaking cool to be
So
able to
freaking cool.
experience.
How wild is that?
So excited for that. But that should be opening with the theme park. However, very exciting news. There are 2 more resorts just off the theme park property that will be opening early. And you can actually, or maybe, see some of the construction progress as it gets closer to the opening date in 2025 with Universal Stella Nova and Universal Terra Luna resorts. Reservations are available now. You can actually book them. The resorts will be opening. Stella Nova will be opening January 21st, 2025, and the Terra Luna will be opening on my birthday, 2025. The Stella Nova description from the Universal website reads as follows. Inspired by the infinite vastness of the unknown universe where galaxies spiral ever outward and unknown worlds revolving around unnamed stars, Universal Stella Nova Resort, opening January 21st, 2025, is where you'll take off for an amazing adventure at Universal Orlando Resort. Enjoy a variety of food and beverage options, a massive spa pool, interactive splash pad, lake views, a rooftop bar, and more. Universal Stella Nova Resort will be located adjacent to the future site of the new Universal Epic Universe theme park, which will open at a later date in 2025. Universal's current theme parks and Universal City Walk will be accessible from the new hotels via convenient and complimentary shuttles. And again, those reservations are available now.
And then for the Universal Terra Luna Resort, inspired by the thrill of exploring the unknown, pushing the limits of discovery and stepping into new landscapes, it opens February 25th, 2025. This brand new resort is much more than your launch pad into amazing adventures at the parks. It's also your landing zone for relaxation and recharging between the fun. Explore a new way to stay at Universal Orlando. Universal Terra Luna Resort will be located adjacent to the future site of the new Universal Epic Universe theme park, which will open at a later date in 2025. Universal Orlando's current theme parks and Universal City Walk will be accessible from the new hotels via convenient and complimentary shuttles.
Very, very exciting news. And if you couldn't tell from YouTube, with the graphics that we had up there, the Stella Nova and the Terra Luna resorts are basically mirrors of each other. And so one is on the top left, one is on the top right, and they are basically across this street from each other. So they have very similar amenities, but slightly different theming on the insides and outsides. But they both have these really cool reflective panels where it'll look like crazy colors throughout the day because of the sun.
So cool.
Isn't that awesome? So very, very excited to see that once it's done. A lot of it, actually, if you go by the construction site for these resorts right now, most of the reflective panels are actually up. So you can actually see what it looks like right now. And it almost looks like rainbowy. When you look at a puddle like with a reflection of the sun.
Rainbow Fish book?
Yeah.
Like where he gave away all his scales?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I imagine that to look like
right.
at a hotel.
Exactly.
Or a resort, excuse me.
Yeah, right.
One of the things we were going to talk about is kind of what we'd like to see expanded on in the future. Mm-hmm. But to be honest, I feel like we have so many ideas about that. Yeah. I think we're going to go ahead and save that for another episode because we definitely have, some stuff that we've dreamed up and we'd potentially like to see as they expand before this park is even open.
Right.
But yeah, I think we're going to go ahead and save that
I think
for
it's a good idea.
Another day so we can come up with couple of really good expansion things that we might enjoy seeing in the future. Mm-hmm. But overall, Universal Epic Universe, it is just going to make Universal even more of a vacation destination. It's going to have 3 parks now, 3 more resorts, so many places to stay. And a really cool thing is that the technology, none of it is going to be any older than 2020. None of it is going to predate 2020.
Right.
So I think we are in for a very, very epic experience.
Absolutely. And this epic universe plus the 3 resorts, this is going to make Universal something that people strongly think about making it its own vacation, because the way Universal is currently set up with their 2 parks, their water park, and 5, 6 resorts. I can't remember exactly how many they have currently. Most people generally do Universal. Unless you're a Universal fan, then you're going to Universal. But most people, the facts are facts, do Universal for a day or 2 on their Disney trip. And so you're coming to Orlando for a week. You do 4 or 5 days at Disney, you do 2 days at Universal. That's what a lot of people are doing now. But Epic Universe is going to make it more of a vacation destination with more resort options and a whole nother theme park, a 3rd theme park, plus a water park, plus 3 more resorts. And the appeal of that Helios Grand Hotel with the views into the theme park, that's going to be super tough to pass up for some people. And it may not be an annual thing like Disney, but it will definitely make people consider staying at Universal a little bit more.
Yeah.
Which is great for them.
I do think that a lot of people, when we talk to people visiting, they're like, oh, I'm coming to Orlando and I'm going to Disney and I want to do a day at Universal.
Correct, yeah.
Or a day at SeaWorld. But it's definitely going to make people think about how much time they're going to utilize at Universal. And, will staying there benefit them? Because things like when you stay at a deluxe, do they call it deluxe?
Yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure I was saying that right. When you stay at a deluxe resort, you get the express passes. So in theory, would splitting up a trip and making sure that you're spending that extra money to get that going to be something that maybe if somebody hadn't considered it before, they're going to consider it now?
I would imagine sometime in the future that Helios will probably have that option. But I would imagine right away they're not going to have any express of any kind in Epic Universe. But I would imagine that that's definitely going to happen at some point. And I feel like going and staying at Helios with those views into the park is absolutely worth the extra money to do that and get the express at a brand new theme park. Oh, absolutely.
I also think that as things come out, when we have more information, which honestly I'm not expecting as much concrete information for a while.
Right.
I really think that, we're going to be able to bring you guys full reports and talk about it. And as soon as we know, we're going to share that with you guys. So you can even start planning your next trip down to Orlando or wherever you're coming from, trip to Orlando, and to be able to add this into your park plans.
Absolutely. Look forward to sharing more and more as we get closer to whatever that opening date is going to be in 2025, whether it be earlier than summer or after summer or in summer. Who knows? We'll never know right now, but we're looking forward to hearing more from our friends over at the Universal Parks.
Well, I'm really glad that we got to talk about Michael Scott's Dunder Mifflin Scranton Meredith Palmer Memorial Celebrity Rabies Awareness Pro-Am Fun Run Race for the Cure today.
Wow. My gosh. What a mouthful.
So many of these things are just have so many big names. But you know what? I think that with everything that Universal is promising on delivering, I'm glad we got to talk about it because now we have some more concrete things to talk about.
For sure.
And a lot of things to be excited about.
Absolutely. So with that said, we're going to wrap it up. Thanks for checking out Disney Magic and Beyond, presented by us, a couple of park hoppers. Again, if you're watching on YouTube right now, all you got to do to help us out, it's free. It takes 1/2 of a second. Hit that subscribe button right there. Right there. Do it now. It does help our channel. Trust me. The more subscribers we get, the faster we grow, the more things that are going to happen for a couple of park hoppers. And be sure to click that bell icon as well to get notified anytime that we post a video, as well as getting an email as well. You'll get a YouTube notification and you'll get an email for whenever we post a new video. You got to know that.
Yep. And if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or any other podcast platform, be sure to follow us right now so you never miss an episode. And actually, if you're listening, I'm going to add one more thing.
Ooh.
Go ahead and throw us a review.
Ooh.
We have not asked people
5 stars,
to leave us a
preferably.
review in a very long time. We're trying to grow. And if you take that 30 seconds to a minute to leave us a review, we appreciate the love. So go ahead, do that right now. It means more to us than you guys will ever know.
Absolutely. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, Google Play, whatever you listen to your podcast on. Search for Disney Magic and Beyond, and we'll be right there. Or search for a couple of Park Hoppers. We'll be right there as well. So, with that said, this has been an epic episode.
So, if you're listening, we hope that you have an epic day.
Ooh.
And until next time,
We will see you around the parks. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. Thanks for listening to this epic episode featuring our thoughts on everything Epic Universe.